Good morning. It is time to get up with the fallen stars. The D in Big D stands for disaster in Philly, and the fallout has already gotten ugly. We'll start there. Then, the opposite end of the spectrum. Lamar leads the Ravens to a place they've never been before. Can anyone possibly slow them down? And after a season-long simmer, Odell boiled over yesterday, but not for the reasons you think. We'll try to clean up Cleveland. All that and more, a jam-packed Monday. With you, time to get up on ESPN. And delighted you have chosen to start this holiday week with us. Rex and Laura and Orlovsky are ready to go. This man is taking bows this morning. And I warn you, if you were awakened early this morning and your name is Will Kane, you may want to change the channel. Let's do it. Let's get to Philly yesterday. The game of the season so far with the drama and everything in the world on the line. Eagles, Cowboys, NFC East hanging in the balance. Pick it up early. And so many questions, Dan, about Carson Wentz that he answered yesterday.
Big time. I love this play because he gets the ball out of his hands real quick, sees the linebacker get depth, get it out to Miles Sanders, and just the type of throw allowing him to go downhill early.
And it sets this up. Dallas Goedert, what a day he had.
Love the play design, a little pump fake, Carson resets, and then you're going to see ball placement here. The story of Carson Wentz's night. The place only Dallas Goedert could go make that catch. Big time throw to start this game.
Now here's a big moment. Opening drive of the second half. Cowboys are down 4. Zeke Elliott, this is an 8-yard carry on first down, but then Rex, he takes himself out of the game.
Yeah, I think he just got hit in the face, so he's got to come out a little bit, but this play, what are you doing on running a speed option on 3rd and 1?
With Zeke still on the bench on a 3rd and 1, and to make it worse, Pollard fumbled.
I hated the play call and I hated the play design. You're going to see the ball pop out by Fletcher Cox. They reviewed it. Clear recovery by the Eagles. This was a massive play in this football game. Zeke not on the field. Big issue.
That was one of the big stories today. Another is this. Dak Prescott missing wide open receivers. Look at Amari Cooper.
You can't miss this. On 3rd down, you get zone coverage. You get back to number 3 into progression. Have to make that throw.
Meantime, ensuing drive. Again, Carson Wentz. This time, the big play, 38 yards to Greg Ward.
This is a great design by Doug Peterson. He gets a receiver in the slot on a linebacker. He doesn't carry him downfield. Outstanding throw.
And that leads to this. Sanders, touchdown, 17-6.
Spread him out to run. They spread the formation out. They open up a big hole. Miles Sanders with a massive finish on a big drive in the 3rd quarter.
4th quarter, it's 17-9. Just over 4 minutes to play. Here you go, Dak Prescott. Here's your season. Tavon Austin wide open.
Listen, this isn't a $30 million throw. It's a $5 million throw. In that game, in that moment, you have to hit that throw.
This is another touchdown. Maybe this one's not Dak's fault.
That's a good throw by Dak. He comes back and makes another good throw. Michael Gallup let him down yesterday. A lot of the Cowboys receivers let Dak down with drops.
Dak would convert a clutch 4th down, so that sets up this. Now 2nd down. Again, season on the line. Sacked by Vinny Curry. Sets up a 3rd down play. Looking for Amari Cooper on this one.
And he's going to get double teamed. He's going to get double coverage by the corner and the safety. There's nowhere to throw this football, but okay, you've got 4th down. Let's get an opportunity. 19 not on the field. Greedy, they're going to take a one-on-one shot down the field to Michael Gallup. Good option. You prefer it to be your star receiver. This is a great play by Sidney Jones. Watch him get his right hand back there, knock the ball away. Ball's underthrown, but Amari Cooper not on the field is a big problem.
Season on the line. Cooper not on the field. Cobb not on the field. Jerry can't watch anymore. Eagles win the showdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get the job done, and we all have to own it. I have to own it. The coaching staff has to own it. All the players and staff members have to own it and give the Eagles credit. And now we have to go forward. Unfortunately, we don't control our destiny anymore, but we do control our opportunity next week.
We're too talented of a team and individuals to not make the plays, starting with myself. And it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but we all take responsibility.
We all expected to leave here as the NFC's champs. We're not. A disappointing setback for that locker room and for all of us, and I know it is for the fans.
So Jerry Jones, from what I'm told, reporters were following him everywhere, and he tried to say as little as he could. Okay, we have so much to dive into here. What is the number one thing we take away?
Let's credit the Cowboys. They earned that loss. They deserved to lose that football game. Your quarterback doesn't practice all week, and you decide to go on the road in a cold environment and throw the ball 44 times. We often talk about coaches putting players in positions to be successful, right? How do you handle them? Your quarterback didn't throw a ball all week, and yet you decide to drop him back 44 times. It was obvious to me that Dak did not feel right. The accuracy was not there. And so a little bit falls on his shoulders. He didn't perform well enough. There's way too many misses. But a lot of this falls on the Cowboys Cowboys earning the loss by the game plan that they go into on the road and asking a quarterback who obviously has his shoulder injury to go, hey, drop back 44 times and try and win a football game.
Rex, Dan said it just there in the highlight. That missed to Tavon Austin. He said a $5 million throw instead of $30 million. For Dak Prescott, where does he stand now with the money that he was trying to get at some point at the end of this?
Yeah, I thought he was out of his mind and I said that, not taking the money. And whoever's advising him, this is why you take the money. Because you have a performance like this. Look, they led the league in offense. So, man, there's a lot of positives. This kid's had a great year. But a game like this, you can come crashing down off of that money. Does anybody want to give him that kind of money right now? I don't think so. Here's what I saw in this game. This was a Dallas Cowboy team. All you got to do is beat a team that's all beat up and everything else. But you know what? I knew I took the Eagles.
Yes,
why? Why would I take the Eagles? Because this was a playoff game, wasn't it, Greeny?
Yes.
What happens with Dallas in a playoff game? They get beat. Because they no-show. They forget they got one of the best running backs in the league. We saw that. You got the quarterback that hasn't practiced all day. And who in the – how can you throw 44 times to the guy that never even practiced?
The Cowboys are like New Year's Eve, man. The Cowboys are New Year's Eve. You get all this build up, you have all these plans, everything's going to be great, and then New Year's Eve happens, you go, it wasn't worth all the money.
It's so depressing.
He doesn't have the money yet. Let's dive a little deeper into him before we go anywhere else, because he, after the game, refused to make any excuses because of the shoulder.
Yeah.
But the reality is some things are excuses and other things are reasons. It's not an excuse that his shoulder hurt. It's a reason that his shoulder hurt. He doesn't miss all those throws if he's fine, right? He was missing wide open guys yesterday, and all of them were high. That had to be a function of the injury.
I've been around or heard of one guy at the quarterback position being able to not practice the whole week and actually play well. That was Steve McNair. He used to never practice because he was always beat up. The fact that Dak didn't practice all week and then plays poorly is a direct correlation to that shoulder injury. I've had shoulder injuries where you miss some time. I'm telling you, getting back onto the practice field, you go, okay, what kind of throws can I make and whatnot? It was obvious to me he didn't feel well enough. But at the end of the day, if you're going to go out and play, you better play well. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for Dak Prescott. Everyone else can. You wanted that moment. You wanted the opportunity with Amari Cooper to be the stars of the show. Yes, you were hurt by some drops, but there's some big-time misses in this football game, in some big-time moments. Here's the reality, too. That miss to Tavon Austin, if that's Tom Brady, if that's Aaron Rodgers, if that's Carson Wentz, we're putting those guys on a crucifix. We are crucifying those guys today. I'm not going to let Dak Prescott avoid that moment. He got to make those throws. If you're going to ask for that money in that moment on the road, I don't want to hear about the shoulder. You got to make the throws, and he didn't.
Yeah, and when I look at this, the thing I love about Dak Prescott is that he owned it.
Absolutely.
You know, so that to me, that's what a leader is, and that's what you want at that position. So many guys get it wrong. We know the guy, in Cleveland, I mean, he would have been blaming everybody else. Me, probably. All right, by the way, overrated as hell. But anyway, when you're looking at this kid right here, what happens, though, in tight moments, all right, game on the line situations, like this is a huge game, that collar gets tight, but not just for Dak. It gets tight for Jason Garrett. It gets tight for that whole football team. And instead of excelling in the big moment, like Carson Wentz, like the Eagles did, they did just the opposite.
And let's talk about the coaches, because I really didn't mean that to give Dak an out as much as I meant it to say, you've got a quarterback, to your point, who has not thrown the ball all week long. And you can see, I can see, sitting on my couch, 100 miles away from where the game is being played, that he can't throw the ball. He is missing everything. So it's all the more reason that you have to question, if not completely rip them to shreds for throwing the ball 44 times.
No, I mean, absolutely. And don't forget the 6 drops, too, also fed into it. But you're exactly right. Who's your best player?
Zeke Elliott is your best player.
Exactly. Then why the heck aren't you giving him the football?
Yeah, I got a little bone to pick with that one, though, because everyone's going like, oh, you should have ran Zeke more on first down. Let me read off the first down run success for the Cowboys, because this was about the Eagles defense going, Zeke ain't going to beat us. We're going to force Dak to beat us. On first down runs, they go 1 yard, -1 yards, 3 yards, -2, -1, 0, -4. They get a 10-yard run, -1. They get an 8-yard run, -2 yards.
Right.
So we can sit here all we want and say they should have ran Zeke more on first down. The Eagles defense was very clear. Zeke Elliott, you're not going to beat us. Dak Prescott, we don't think you can and you won't.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. All right, here's why, okay? In 30 years of coaching, here's why. The hardest down to run the football on is first down. Dan, let me just ask you this. What's the easiest down to throw the ball on?
First down.
First down. Why? Because you're getting 8-man spacing. Everybody's down there to stop the run. Just because you're not successful at running the football on first down does not mean you can't run the ball on second and in third down. And when he's your best player, that's what you need to do. Look, and I get it. I'm just a defensive guy. That also led the league in rushing 5 times.
Yep.
So this is what happens. All right? This is your best player. In the biggest moment, you win a division. Let's give the guy I thought for sure he'd carry the thing 30 times in this game.
Yeah.
Well, he did take himself, Zeke did, out of the game at one point.
Right.
Do you read anything into that at all?
No, he got hit in the face, and that's a thing where is he dazed a little bit? You saw him on the sideline. He's holding his mouth, doing whatever, so he takes that big shot. Okay, you get buzzed. That right there is not a concussion, but you got your bell rung. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, that's what happened. So that's why he came out. Now, the speed option call against a defense that has edge sets, I don't understand that one. Like, we might criticize that a lot more than this young man pulling himself out of the game for a play.
I also want to talk about the idea of not running the football, because I have sat with Rex Ryan far too many times, and you were the coach of the New York Jets, the ground and pound team that everyone knew wanted to run the ball. Everyone knew had much less passing game than the Cowboys had here, and you told me a million times, you're damn right you can run the ball into an 8-man box.
Right.
You can run the ball into a 9-man box. You have to figure out ways to do it, and they never did. The epitaph of the 2019 Dallas Cowboys will be, for reasons known only to them, they didn't give the ball to Zeke. The owner decided to pay that guy when he didn't have to. He could have left him in Cabo and said, you stay down there. I'm not paying you this money and you'll never play football again. He gave him that money to come back and win a Super Bowl. And for whatever reason, Jason Garrett and the boy wonder, as you like to call him, decided that they're not going to let Zeke Elliott carry them to a division title, and I will, for the life of me, never understand
Well,
why.
I'll go back to my point of the lack of success running the first ball.
How about the first and 10 when he ran for 10 yards and then they threw 3 consecutive incomplete passes?
But if you're the Cowboys and you're going to that game, you're going, wait, the Eagles secondary that struggled all year? Yeah, I think that we should be able to throw the ball. Now, given the injury to Dak and whatnot, I would have run the ball for 30 times. I would have said, Zeke Elliott, if I was Jerry Jones, I would have said, hey, Jason, the ball's going to get run 30 times.
Dan, who's the better team in this game?
More talented team is the Dallas Cowboys.
So which team should be dictating to the other how the game is going to be played? Who got dictated to yesterday?
The Dallas Cowboys.
So
but that's
I
why
rest my case.
That's why I picked the Eagles, because I believed in the coach more and I believed in the quarterback more. Here's the reality. You said the epitaph. Okay, epitaph at the end is going to be the fact that they didn't give the Zeke the ball enough.
All year long.
No, the epitaph of the Jason Garrett tenure in Dallas is the fact that Jerry Jones likes power more than he likes winning, because he wanted to control the coach and he wanted to sell tickets and he wanted to have a sexy offense, and it didn't win. And I'm surprised by it, because I thought that Jerry wanted to win more than anything. He doesn't. He wants power and control more than winning.
Yeah, that's an interesting take right there, because I think
it's hard to disagree with.
But I mean, look, he wants to win. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant businessman. Okay. And he's a good judge of, evaluator of talent. He put together a heck of a roster. All right. What's missing is this coach ain't taking you anywhere.
But that's
He's
the point.
proved it for
So why is he
10
there
years.
10 years?
But that's the thing. Like, it can't happen again. I was calling for this all last year. I called for it, and okay, I get it. We're going to keep him. I mean, I don't understand it.
Yeah, but let's just keep this as real as we can. One team was depleted and never asked out of plays. Guys are never tapping out saying, I need a break. One team was healthy, and we have guys on the Cowboys asking out. There's a difference between those organizations. One organization is built on complete heart from a city of Philadelphia, and one is built on the past. One is built on hoping that the talent reigns supreme. Amari Cooper, not on the field on 4th down, absolutely blows my mind that a coach can do that.
Let's get to that. No, but let's get to it.
All
Let's play that. We haven't even gotten there yet. There's so much to dissect from this game. Amari Cooper, season on the line. They traded a first-round pick to get him. 4th and 8, your entire season hanging in the balance, and Amari Cooper is standing on the sideline. Let's hear some explanation.
I had a go ball on the play before, and I was taken out.
He wasn't. We were rotating. We were rotating Tavon in there. Had a couple good opportunities with Tavon. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cash in on him.
Are you healthy?
I'm healthy. Yep.
You are.
Their best offensive weapon not on the field in a crucial moment. Greeny can't even look. Is that normal, Rex?
No, he never even ran a go route, by the way.
He ran an out route.
Yeah, like, give me a break. Like, I don't get it, but they're brilliant. I talked about Boy Wonder all year. Now, I do have to give credit to Boy Wonder. They do lead the league in offense. It's crazy. But don't just try to get a head coaching job. I get it, but here's the difference. When it came down to it, one team is about, boom, Philly left hook. That's what you get.
Yeah.
The other team is soft as Charmin. And that's what it is. And to me, who's going to take it? Always take the more physical team in big situations.
This happens in practice, though, right? Sometimes where a receiver would go off the field, but you would never see that in a game.
No, well, with your season on the line, I mean, you would think that the best player would be out there. I'm just saying.
The Cowboys didn't have any timeouts in that. Oh, they did.
Oh, they did.
You have 3 timeouts. In that moment, you absolutely call timeout. You don't worry about being able to stop the clock later in the game if you don't convert there. You focus on, I got to have my best player on the field in that. I traded a first-round pick for him. You traded a first-round pick for a guy on the most important play of your season is on the sideline.
We need
Wrap your head around that.
We need further explanation of this, okay? Because you cannot say after the game we were rotating guys in and out.
Yeah.
I am not in any way comparing Amari Cooper to the people that I'm about to name. But in no possible circumstance were Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, the best players on their teams, rotated out on a 4th down play. So somehow, whatever route they ran on the previous play, they managed to get back and run the next play. How does that happen?
And if I'm coach, I'm not coming out of the game.
Right.
No, I'm shooing you back. Tavon, go back on the sideline. You traded for me. Throw me the ball in this moment. Yes, at sometimes guys will tap themselves out, but not in that moment. There's no explanation for the player not being upset about it. There's no explanation for the coach not using a timeout in that moment. If I'm Dak Prescott, I'm calling a timeout. No, I want my guys in my huddle in that moment.
I'm going to tell you what happened here. There's no way in heck this player tapped out. There's no way in heck. What they wanted to do was dictate the coverage. With Amari Cooper off the field, they knew he wanted to get it doubled. But in situations when game's on the line, it's not about them. Like, you're giving them way too much credit. It's about you. Get the ball to your best players. The whole game was like that. Get the ball to Zeke, all right, at least 30 times. And then in that kind of moment, the ball can only go to one guy.
Right.
And that's Cooper. But you don't want the coverage. You don't want, I don't want to throw in the double coverage. Why the hell not? Why did you take this guy?
You earned that loss.
Oh, amen.
You earned that loss.
That makes me think they don't trust Dak, too.
It makes me think, yes, to some degree. Primarily what I go back to in all of this is you either dictate or you get dictated to in sports. And the Cowboys all year long seem to want to outsmart the other team. Well, they won't expect us to do this, so we'll do this. They seem to have a very high threshold of what they consider their intellect to be, when the reality is they're built to be a Rex Ryan team.
Absolutely.
They're built to punch you in the mouth, get in front, run the ball with Zeke, and then play defense. But instead, too many 3-and-outs. You're putting that undersized defense on the field. They're not holding up. The Cowboys did not play to what appear to be their strengths, and primarily speaking, I would say they allowed themselves to be dictated to. And the last play of their season, for all intents and purposes, is a perfect illustration.
Well,
of
that and one team had Carson Wentz and one team had Dak Prescott.
Well, that's a big part of it. So Dan is going to. Dan has brought props this morning, and because he wants to give props to his adoptive son. I saw you with all of your kids there yesterday. I don't know why Carson wasn't over at your house.
He was busy hanging a 300 burger on the Cowboys.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to talk a lot about Carson Wentz in here, but let's give you 1 minute to start it here. What did he show you yesterday?
Legendary stuff. To be able to win that game when you should not. In that city, to beat your most... Chase Utley did this really cool voiceover of how do you become a legend. It's doing things against the most hated opponent when you shouldn't be able to. And Carson Wentz has been called a lot of things in his career, talent, arm talent, creative, whatever. I saw a quarterback that was deadly accurate when they needed him to be deadly accurate. This is a legendary performance. So all the people that had a lot of negative things to say about Carson Wentz, this is a really rough day for you. You might want to stay in hiding because I'm coming with a vengeance today.
Yeah, when I look at it, I mean, this kid, I've never questioned him. I think the guy's as talented as any quarterback in the league.
You're clear today, Rex. You are free from the...
And you know what? Because everything I've said has been right the whole season, so I don't know what to say. But either way, when I look at it, you're so right about this. Can we please get rid of that statue of the other backup quarterback?
Let me say this about Carson Wentz. This last month has been more impressive than 2017. 2017 for Carson Wentz was about talent. This right now is about quarterbacking and leadership.
All right. By the way, that division's not over. They still got to get past Danny Dimes, or Danny Dollars.
Whoa.